Coming up on today's show, we take a look at the new Tubi original horror movie, Festival of the Living Dead.
A couple thousand people are dead. Did you see anybody come to save us? Guys!
Stay tuned. Welcome to Scary World, where we walk you through the latest and greatest in the world of horror. I am your host, Arturo Padilla.
Hi.
If you're joining us for the first time, we have one major rule around here. No spoilers. Now that we got that out of the way, there are 5 categories: production, story, ensemble, horror, and legacy. Each category can score up to 2 points.
Showtime.
Per IMDb, the synopsis goes, while attending a festival to commemorate the original zombie attack, Ash and her friends encounter the living dead and must fight back or be devoured. This movie was directed by the Soska sisters. They directed 2012's American Mary, which is one of my favorite horror movies, and they do a very great job with the directing duties in this movie. This is a Tubi original film, and don't get it twisted, folks. Just because it's on Tubi does not mean the quality lacks in this movie. This is why a lot of kudos and commendation goes to the sisters, because this movie looks good. The sisters have a keen eye for horror and know what works on screen, and here is no different. The shots are well composed and they are very effective. The movie makes good use of its sound editing and its needle drops, and it's pieced together very well. The overall package was very well done. The execution behind the camera is very good, and the Soska sisters have to be commended because they made the most of their budget and they delivered a very awesome zombie movie. Again, I have to reiterate, Tubi gets a very bad rap sometimes for the quality of their movies. At times it is warranted, but in this movie, the Soska sisters make Tubi look like Shudder. This movie is up there in quality, and it is enjoyable and pieced together very well. And for production, this movie gets a big solid 2 for what the Soska sisters were able to do with the budget that they had, and they made an enjoyable, watchable film. And that's all you can really ask for these days out of your streaming platforms. The script was written by first-time feature writer Miriam Liapan and Helen Marsh, whose previous credits include a handful of TV projects. That being said, the script and the story is simple and concise. It's paced very well. The movie's runtime is under 88 minutes, and the script does a good job of making sure it hits all the right beats within that time frame. The movie is heavily dependent on its characters to drive the story forward, and that's not a bad thing. We'll talk more about the characters in our next segment. But there is a big gripe that I do have here, and it is with the third act. The third act does some very good things, but I feel that it's a bit rushed and anticlimactic. The very end of this movie feels like it just kind of showed up, and it needed a little bit more of an entrance in order for us to feel the impact at the end of the movie. With that said, though, I have to say it is overall a good story. And the acts do deliver on the zombie fun. That's really what we came here for, and we get a little bit extra with the excellent characters that were built in this story. And for story, this movie gets a solid 1 because of the slightly weak third act and the ability to not really punch it home at the end of the story. But like I said, it is a good story nonetheless, and an admirable job done by this first-time writer. The cast does a great job with their respective roles. These young actors are talented. They took a tropey cookie-cutter character and they breathed new life into them. These characters do fall within the spectrum of the typical horror movies. You have your annoying characters, you have your support that falls behind, you have the weak link here, but all these characters are portrayed extremely well. These actors do a great job with these roles, and they really hit it home. These characters have great dynamics, they have great chemistry, the actors do a great job with their dialogue delivery, and that's what really kind of sets this film apart at the end of the day.
There was a guy literally right in the middle of the road. We can't just stay here, we need to get help.
Hello, is anyone there?
The characters are relatable and they're grounded and they hit very well. So a big kudos goes to these young actresses and actors, specifically Ashley Moore and Cameron Bikendova, who drive this movie as the protagonist and the main support. And they do a great job with their roles. Everyone, as I mentioned, does a great job with their roles. It really makes a big difference here when you have a cast here that knows what they're doing and knows what their responsibility is to these characters. And that's why this movie is successful at the end of the day. And for ensemble, this movie gets a big solid 2. There are buckets of blood and guts in this movie. We get plenty of gory kills to keep our eyeballs busy, and to top it off, folks, they're all well executed.
How many bullets do you have?
The Soska sisters are not afraid to get in there and show you all the awesome practical effects they spent the money on. That is why we watch horror, especially when it comes to the zombie stuff. You want to see the flesh eating, you want to see the zombie makeup, you want to see the kills. That really is one of the main sells of the zombie genre. And this movie does it very well. From the zombie makeup to the car accident makeup to the prosthetics and the blood and guts, all the practical stuff really shines in this movie. And as I said before, the Soska sisters are not afraid to spotlight all that stuff. And they're not afraid to film it properly because they know that's what we want to see. And they make sure that it is executed well. And that it looks good on screen and it looks effective. Budget aside, this stuff looks very effective. It doesn't look too campy. It doesn't look too B-movie-ish. It looks like a well-executed zombie movie. And all the kills aside, the zombie makeup really works. It's very effective. You get some really cool looks from some different zombies and different people here. There is a close-up look of one of them that attacks one of them in an office, and the lighting on that face looks really awesome. It's well done. It's well done. And again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the Soska sisters are no strangers to horror. And this is where they live, and this is where they love to work. And we are lucky enough to be able to witness stuff like this from a Tubi original movie. That's the beauty of all this. And for horror, for the blood and the guts and all the awesome zombie action we get, this movie gets a solid 2. This was a surprisingly fun horror flick. I sat down, I pressed play on this, and I left all expectations outside the door, because once you walk through the door of a Tubi movie, you kind of have to watch it with a different focal lens. This here, honestly, is one of the best Tubi movies I've seen in the last couple of years. It's executed very well. It looks good. It looks like it should be on Shudder. As I said in my review, the Soska sisters are one of the few people that are able to make Tubi look like Shudder because of their eye for horror. And here it is absolutely no different. The characters are great. The kills are awesome. This Tubi original really shines, folks. My only big gripe here, honestly, which kind of impacts the overall score, is the weak ending of the third act, because you have some very good things happening there, but then the movie falls flat right when you think it should kind of hit a nice crescendo. It kind of flattens out, and it deflates the action and suspense that's going on there. So I wish the end of this movie were a little bit more pumped up, if that makes any sense. But overall, good movie, good stories, great characters, awesome blood and guts, folks. And for legacy, this movie gets a solid 1. So to tally it up, Festival of the Living Dead received a 2 for production, 1 for story, 2 for ensemble, 2 for horror, and a 1 for legacy, bringing the total score up to 7. I had fun watching this movie. It had the blood, it had the story, it had the characters, it had everything you kind of really want out of a watchable zombie flick. And the fact that it was free on Tubi Man, that is one of the best selling points of this thing. You get a high quality horror movie on a free streaming platform, which is rare, super rare on these occasions. It does have some commercial breaks in there, but you can go use the bathroom while those commercials go. And when you get back, you can enjoy Festival of the Living Dead. The Soskas did a great job with this movie.
Can you tell me what time it is?
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for watching Scary World. Don't forget to drop a comment down below and hit the thumbs up on the video. Most importantly, do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have spoiler-free horror movie reviews for you guys dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we also have the official CorpseFeed podcast, The Morgue, dropping every Tuesdays anywhere you get your podcast streams, plus on YouTube as well, folks. You can also check us out anywhere there is a social stream. We are there. We will see you on Friday for another episode. And remember, folks, it's a scary world out there, but we are here to walk you through it.